Now, the United National Transport Union says it is not surprised by the resignation of Transnet CEO Portia Derby. Now, it's concerned about the leadership vacuum that needs to be addressed, of course, at the state-owned freight logistics group. Derby served at the helm of the company for 3 years and will leave at the end of this month. Transnet CFO Nonkululeko Dlamini also stepped down from her position. For more on this, we are joined by the union's president, Mr. Steve Leshabana. Thank you so much, Mr. Leshabana, for joining me. I think, first of all, let's just start with, what did you make of the resignation? Is it something that you've welcomed?
Good morning to you and the viewers, Parent. Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation that the Group CE had to leave. However, we understand that at some point she was found wanting, and we were not surprised when the pressure mounted for her to step down. However, the main issue here is we are not looking at everything holistically. We're looking at maybe the leadership of Transnet. But the leadership of Transnet, Eskom, they all report to the minister, Minister Godani. And the question is, are we holding the ministry accountable for everything that is happening in the state entities? Or we will only throw one person under the bus and then forget about the rest? And then we replace the person and forget about the others who are also to be held accountable, from government downwards to Transnet itself.
Now, of course, it is up to the Minister, Pravin Gordhan, to make sure that, that leadership vacuum, again, is filled. How important is it then for you to know that the right person is there, and who do you think that person should be, or what qualities should they have then to make sure that they run this, the Transnet very smoothly, so that, problems like what happened in the past doesn't happen again?
We believe that you need someone who has had exposure in the railway environment. This thing of taking someone who's from a completely different environment to come here, and they come and bring a whole lot of people who are inexperienced in the rail environment, I think is one of the problems that needs to be avoided at all costs. I believe that the person who must be appointed should be someone who has been exposed to the rail environment, who has experience in the rail environment, and including in the operating divisions of Transnet, your TFR, TNPA, TPT, and the rest. You need people who have vast experience, because we cannot be experimenting at that level of leadership.
And now, of course, we know that, Transnet's financial problems, that's a big issue. And I think that's also something that needs to be, a main focus here. Operational issues, we know that that's been under the spotlight as well. Would you say that Ms. Derby was not the right person to take care of these problems at Transnet? And what did you say that she then lacked?
The only thing I can say she lacked was the experience. However, we cannot only point at her, because there are a lot of things that were at play and that we are running away from. For example, the issue of vandalism and theft. We are not talking about that. You can appoint anyone if the government is not intervening on the issue of theft and vandalism on the railway tracks. That person will surely also fail. So I believe that, or we believe that, on operational level, it was not only about the capacity of the Group CE, it's also about the security. Because if you look currently what is happening, the train design, the turnaround times, and the cycle time for trains has become almost double of what they're supposed to be. A train that's supposed to take 64 hours from Witbank to Richards Bay and back is now taking more than 90 hours or averaging around 90 hours. Meaning, if we don't deal with the main issues, which is corruption, which is vandalism and theft, we're not going to solve the problem, and we're not going to make the life of the new person easier. So government must interfere. Government must start now coming with ways to secure the rail infrastructure so that it makes life easier for those who are managing the system. Because you manage the system, but even if you manage it well, if you don't have the railway tracks or you don't have the overhead track equipment, trains are not going to move. And at the end of the day, one person might be blamed. So we want to, as Labour, we want to be part of the solution, and we want to engage whoever will be appointed and share our ideas of how things can be turned around. And also including the minister. We have met with the minister, so we wish to meet with him again to pave the way forward and assist so that we are not spectators or commentators in this whole game.
Of course, you mentioned, it can't just be one person to be blamed for everything that's going wrong at Transnet. Of course, the minister also needs to take a lot of responsibility when it comes to the problems there. And it's also not just the group CEO that needs to take responsibility. Would you then say that there needs to be looked at maybe an overall of, replacing the top management at Transnet to make sure that these problems are being taken care of? Would you say there is a bigger leadership issue involved here?
To a certain extent, I can say there is a bigger leadership problem. However, I'm not in a point where I would say who must go and who must remain. We just need people who are committed to Transnet and people who understand the operation, the Transnet operations. So experience should be part of those things. And we have been found wanting when it comes to experience when you look at the current leadership.
All right, thank you so much. That was Steve Leshabana, President of the United National Transport Union.